Hi y'all, today we're going to be talking about the AR-23 Liberator, your default assault rifle you use first, and a fairly well-balanced AR capable of doing just about anything you need your primary to do. It's the very first weapon you're going to fire, whether in the tutorial or just straight out on the battlefield, and it's reliable. It'll work on pretty much everything short of any heavily armored targets you might run across. The stats are very well rounded, it's got solid damage output, it's got a big magazine with 45 rounds, you carry 7 magazines maximum, and in the field, you get a couple options too. You can either turn on or off the flashlight. This one's entirely up to you. I like to turn it off, but if you really like the light, you can keep it on. You can change the fire mode, whether you want it in burst, semi, or auto. I would just leave it in auto. Honestly, you could really just tap fire, and the recoil is not high enough to justify running it in burst. And you can also change your scope zoom. I have mine set for 50 meters. For me, I find it works best because it lets you poke at weak spots and it's not excessively zoomed in like 100 meters, but 25 meters is totally fair too. Of course, this only applies if you aim in first person. I'm a little gremlin, I like aiming in first person. That's how we do things. So, the Liberator is really nice for just general clear. It's not by any means an outstanding option in any particular field, but just for general clearing, it just puts down trash. It doesn't matter if it's a bug, it doesn't matter if it's a bot, it just works. It's just a very safe, easy option, really, no matter the situation. Against heavier targets, it kind of sucks. Specifically against the bots, you have to go for weak spots. And against big bugs, well, it's not particularly good. It still works, obviously. If you go for weak spots, and because the Liberator has pretty much no recoil, you can aim directly for weak spots. And if you aim in first person, like I do, which I would recommend if you're going for these weak spots, it still works pretty well. You can poke a lot of bot heads, even the bigger bots. You just have to go for that weak spot or you're not going to be doing any damage because you do not get any armor penetration, bucko. So, on the whole, it's a pretty good gun. I would say it's definitely a better gun against bots than bugs. The main reason for this is the Liberator does work against pretty much all the bots, barring like Hulks and tanks, which aren't really primary weapon caliber anyway. Whereas against bugs, you kind of want more specialized weapons. I find against bugs, you're better off using, like, say, a dedicated horde clear and a dedicated burst clear against, say, chargers or whatever. Whereas with bots, it's nicer to have your general clear and your anti-tank, let's say. So I find the Liberator just works a bit better against bots in the whole, but it's a very reliable weapon in both circumstances. Like, it's very safe. If you don't know what you're bringing into, like, you could bring a Liberator. If you just don't know what you're going to be doing, just bring a Liberator. It liberates. It's a pretty simple gun on the whole. Just, if you are aiming and playing against bots in particular, Helldivers is a pretty heavy aim punch, and to my knowledge there is no booster that actually mitigates this whatsoever. So just be aware that if you're aiming in first person and going for weak spots, especially against like Devastators, or any boss with a firearm to be honest, if you get hit, you're going to get aim punched really hard. So just keep that in mind. I still think it's a great gun. I really like it. I think it's absolutely a very safe weapon to use no matter the circumstance. I think it's very reliable. I think it's very safe. I think it's really just an easy pick no matter what you're doing, really. I mean, if you don't know what weapon to bring, just bring a Liberator. Obviously, more specialized weapons will outdo it in certain specialized roles. Like, say, a Diligence is going to work better for sniping at long range or picking weak spots. A shotgun is going to work better at staggering. But if you really just want a gun to do anything you really would want a gun to do, the Liberator just kind of works. And against anything that the Liberator can't deal with, aka tanks, Bile Titans, Factory Striders, any really big targets, you have stratagems. So, it's a pretty safe pick no matter what. I like it. I think it's a really good gun. Thank you all, and I will hopefully see you next time. Bye.